Welcome to the keynote, Online CAD and DWG. My name is Anthony Foster Robledo, AIA Architect and Editor-in-Chief of Architosh.com, one of the world's premier online CAD publications and now in its 25th year. At Architosh, we write about CAD, BIM, and 3D technologies, primarily centered on the AEC industry. We also touch on fundamental computer technologies that power CAD and 3D, including operating systems, graphics technologies, hardware systems, and the chips that power them. I'd like to introduce now Cedric Desbordes, who is joining me today. Cedric is the Business Development and Marketing Director at Graybert.
Hi, everybody.
For the rest of this session, let's review Aries Kudo, Graybert's online CAD solution, for which Architosh just published a deep overview. This year, Aries Kudo has transformed into a bona fide AutoCAD LT competitor. That is the consensus after completing my first in-depth look in the strong view of its developer, Germany's Graybert. In particular, Aries Kudo's new capabilities make it a viable competitor to AutoCAD LT. We will see how Kudo compares to LT based on its newest features. Cedric, before we start, can you say some words about the Aries CAD software?
Yes, of course. So the Aries Trinity of CAD software is the #1 alternative to AutoCAD in the world, with millions of users. It includes 3 solutions that can be purchased either individually or all together in a Trinity license. The Aries Trinity is an ecosystem of 3 products, leveraging modern cloud and mobile technologies to improve collaboration. Aries Commander is our desktop version. It's a 2D and 3D CAD software that runs on Windows, Mac, and Linux computers. Compared to Aries Kudo and Aries Touch, it is the most powerful version. Aries Commander offers a full replacement for AutoCAD and adds exclusive features such as the Trinity features and the BIM2CAD features. Aries Kudo is our cloud version. Nothing to install, nothing to update. It runs directly in your internet browser. We will dive deeper into the features in a minute. And Aries Touch is our mobile CAD solution for Android and iOS. Aries Touch has the advantage of working both offline and online. If you buy Aries Kudo, I strongly recommend to add Aries Touch so you can keep working when you are on the go, then synchronize your changes later. Unlike in Aries Kudo, the user interface is optimized for smaller screens and touch input. It makes it easy to follow your projects on your smartphone or tablet. Over to you, Anthony.
Thanks, Cedric. So here's our agenda today. First, we will examine the CAD features to determine whether and how Aries Kudo can replace traditional CAD software. Secondly, we'll explore the collaboration features to understand what, fundamentally, Aries Kudo is improving compared to traditional CAD software. And finally, after Cedric walks us through these new features, I'll share my impressions on the product review in Architosh. Let's get started. This year, Graybert has taken Aries Kudo up a weight class. Although it's an online solution, it is now aiming for AutoCAD LT. Is Aries Kudo full-featured enough to replace LT? To begin with, it is important to stress 2 major changes this year, with the addition of the ribbon interface and support for dynamic blocks. The new ribbon interface instantly elevates your sense of the application, and the support for dynamic blocks not only matches LT, but fundamentally gives Kudo desktop CAD utility. Let's ask Cedric for an overview of the CAD features.
Sure. So using Aries Kudo is very convenient for the users who are frequently out of the office. It is, for example, a perfect fit for team leaders or technical experts who only occasionally modify the drawings. With Kudo, they can access the drawings anywhere and be sure the drawing is always the latest version. As it is fully browser-based, Aries Kudo is truly an IT painkiller. It makes it easy for organizations to enable their users to work remotely, but without compromising on security. The more users you have, the higher the benefit. It takes less than a minute to deploy it to hundreds of users. Aries Kudo offers the largest choice of integrations. Instead of forcing you to lock your files on our servers, we let you connect with the storage services that you decided to use. This includes all the major providers, as well as private clouds, or industry-specific storage options. Aries Kudo includes more than 300 features, so to give you a quick tour today, I selected some of them and we'll break this overview of the CAD features into 4 parts. We start with the essential features that are required for any type of user. Basically, Aries Kudo includes all the 2D features you can expect to create and modify drawings. As our time is limited today, I will avoid to show basic commands like how to draw a rectangle or circle, and focus instead on some important questions you probably have in mind. To begin with, the new Ribbon interface was designed to facilitate the transition from AutoCAD or Aries Commander. The second advantage of the Ribbon is to better expose the hundreds of features available in Kudo. You can also enter commands by name. When the command name is different in Aries, you can still enter the name that you know from AutoCAD, and Kudo is trained to recognize it. Also very important, Aries Kudo includes all the tools you can expect to manipulate layers. In the Layers palette, you can filter, isolate, or freeze layers. Alternatively, you can use the Ribbon and find the Layers Manager that is more convenient to create new layers. Aries Kudo also includes features that require complex dialogues, only that they are reorganized as a contextual palette, like here for hatches and gradients. For annotation, you will find a full set of features in the Annotate tab. Just like on desktop, you can use text, dimensions, and leaders. Using dimensions, you can seamlessly find any distance or angle that would be missing in your drawing. When you select a dimension, you will see the dimension palette pop up. You can use it to edit and customize your dimensions. And last but not least, you can create dimension styles or modify the existing ones. In the Sheets tab of the Ribbon, you will find the features to create viewports. After inserting a new viewport, we can define its scale in the Properties palette. In the lower right corner, you will find the Sheets and Sheets Manager. New sheets can be created from there, and in the options, you can configure the print settings. This is how you can define the scale and paper format for each sheet. Finally, you can print your drawings to PDF. Not only the current drawing, but also multiple sheets in the same PDF. Alright, the question you asked Anthony was if Kudo can fully replace ALT. So let's dive now into the more advanced features. Aries Kudo was first released in 2015. It's been there for nearly 10 years that I'm showing this product. Out of this experience, I have selected these 7 topics. To begin with, the support for XREFs is important to ensure that Kudo users can open any drawing. For example, this drawing contains 2 other drawings inserted as XREFs. Kudo is not only displaying the XREFs, but also offering the References Manager to attach new drawings or manage the existing XREFs. Likewise, you can insert images as external references. In this example, we see 2 images attached to the drawing. Tables and table styles are also supported, enabling you to create or modify them seamlessly. Also very interesting is the import of PDF or DGN files to convert them into DWG entities that you can further modify in Aries Kudo. Alternatively, you can insert such files as external references. Let's make an example with the DGN import. For PDF import, it would work exactly the same. The dialog contains all the options to manage the conversion. After import, we obtain a block that can be exploded to modify its entities. Next feature is the Drawing Compare. We can use it to compare the current drawing with another one. And the differences will be highlighted in colors. Finally, some words about 3D. Aries Kudo cannot design in 3D, but you have all the features to visualize 3D drawings. Kudo users can also use the comments and markups to share feedback on such drawings. So this was really already a good overview of the CAD features and the new Ribbon interface. Anthony, you recently tested this new Ares Kudo, so I'm curious, what do you think?
I think Kudo's new user interface is impressive. I found the new ribbon layout and new icons very strong compared to all the different CAD and 3D software we ever review at Architosh. It's attractive, well laid out, and easy to master. As for the new block features, for users who frequently work with AutoCAD dynamic blocks, the new dynamic block support is a major boost in utility. Anything you can get from AutoCAD World as a dynamic block will work in Ares Kudo. Plus, you get to work with Ares custom smart blocks and leverage a 400-strong dynamic block library. Finally, the in-place block editing gives the user the kind of power you only expect in CAD software costing thousands of dollars. So I think the net result is that Ares Kudo 2025 delivers best-in-class abilities to work with blocks in a native DWG browser-based CAD system.
Thanks, Anthony. So that's a great transition to our next topic. When it comes to blocks, I think it's fair to say that Ares Kudo goes beyond the expectations of most users. And there is a reason for that. For an online solution like Ares Kudo that is also very affordable, it makes sense to take care of the needs of occasional users, who are very attracted by the collaboration features but not really CAD experts. Using blocks is both speeding up the design and making it easier for the non-experts. To begin with, Ares Kudo includes all the features to create blocks and blocks with attributes. And the edit component feature is calling the block editor. At first, the palette shows you the structure of the block. And if we select the block and validate, this is opening the editor, where we can modify the block definition. After modification, it will be updated everywhere it was inserted in the drawing. New this year is the support for dynamic blocks. These are parametric blocks created in AutoCAD. They include grips and visibility states that make them very easy to use even for a beginner. To get you started with dynamic blocks, Kudo includes in the Trinity block library more than 450 of them. They are grouped into 12 libraries organized by industry. To continue from there, you can create more libraries with your own blocks or dynamic blocks. The Trinity block library can be accessed in Ares Kudo, but also in Ares Commander and Ares Touch. Therefore, such libraries can also be shared with other Ares users. You can invite individual users or all your company. Some users will have the rights to modify your library, and others can only use it. Working with blocks is faster as you can focus on simple operations, like mirror or copy. And after inserting the electrical symbols for lights and switches, we just need some arcs to represent the cables. To summarize, combining dynamic blocks with Ares Kudo's CAD features, you can achieve professional-looking drawings in no time. So that's it for the CAD features overview. Anthony?
So let's speak about the limitations now. Despite these pro-level CAD features in DWG CAD, Ares Kudo as a web browser-based system has some limitations on the performance side with large drawings. However, at Architosh, we tested it with several different file sizes, and we found that files that ran under 12 megabytes ran well. We did test the file at twice that size, and found that it ran a bit too slow for what most people will want. Still, most users will work with files under 5 megabytes, and will find Ares Kudo runs extremely well. Cedric, are there any other limitations to consider compared to desktop-based solutions?
Well, if we compare with AutoCAD LT, it is true that this type of users is unlikely to work with huge drawings. But it's not really a limitation because there is also the option to buy our Trinity license to work at ease on such big files with Ares Commander. And keep also in mind that performance is mostly affecting the opening time. It takes longer to open, but after opening, there is little difference. So now, if we focus on the key differences in terms of CAD features, I would mostly highlight the following ones. In Ares Kudo, you can create simple blocks and use dynamic blocks, but you cannot create new dynamic blocks or custom blocks. It just means that more expert users would be creating them for you, using either AutoCAD or Ares Commander. Another key difference is with printing. In Ares Kudo, you can print to PDF and use the PDF to print on paper. but you cannot print on paper directly, nor use sheet sets to batch print multiple files. Finally, I would also mention the tool palettes and data link with Excel. To be fair, Aries Kudo has also many advantages over LT, including its price and all the collaboration features we will see in a minute. The key takeaway is that Aries Kudo is a great alternative to AutoCAD LT. But if any of these limitations that you see here in the list matter to you, you just need to invest a little more for a Trinity license that is still cheaper than AutoCAD LT. Indeed, the Trinity license is adding Aries Commander, so that is better than LT and equivalent to AutoCAD, but still significantly cheaper. Anthony?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's move on to our second chapter. While online CAD tools like Aries Kudo may have natural performance disadvantages, they also have some natural cloud advantages over desktop tools. In the post-COVID-19 context, we work some days from home, other days from the office, the factory, or the job site. This is the modern work world. What Aries Kudo offers are features built for it. Through Trinity, users leverage user access control, session handling, and drawing history capabilities that are unmatched in the DWG CAD world. These collaboration features are the real added value that can motivate a CAD user to prefer Aries Kudo over another solution like the desktop-based AutoCAD LT. Cedric will now provide an overview.
Sure. So you heard me say before that Aries Kudo is an IT painkiller. I can say for sure that it is also a collaboration painkiller. In today's reality, we no longer work from 9 to 5 with colleagues always sitting next to us in the same office. We collaborate with colleagues, suppliers, and customers that are frequently in other cities or even in other countries. This is where the collaboration features make all the difference. To begin with, the first challenge for each company is to enable their employees to work remotely, but without compromising on security. A key advantage of Aries Kudo, therefore, is to secure remote access. Users must log in to view and modify drawings. The files stay on the server and are neither saved on the computer nor shared via emails or USB drives. Additionally, you can see and modify for each file who has editing rights and who can only view. You may also grant editing rights just for one day and revoke this permission just after. Another key improvement is to track the history of who modified and when. If you disagree with any modification, you can promote the older version to revert back the changes. Alternatively, you can also upload a local file you received from a non-Aries user and make it the new current version. The second key advantage is to enable a real-time collaboration between multiple users, no matter where they are and across all the versions of Aries, including Aries Kudo, but also Aries Commander and Aries Touch. So let's take a look. To begin with, Aries Kudo is preventing conflicting changes across all the Aries Trinity users. When a first user starts editing, the other users trying to open the same file will be granted view-only access. But then the users with view-only access can send a request to take over the editing session. When they do so, the first user sees the request inside Aries Commander, or the same would happen inside Aries Kudo or Aries Touch. If he agrees, the first user will continue as a viewer, and the other user can start editing. This way, multiple users can alternate editing and work together on the same file. So to conclude, let's take a look at our last group of features. Using view-only links, you can invite your contacts to view online and comment for free. A key benefit is that this link is always live updated. You only need to share it once and it will always be live updated. And unlike when you send a PDF, you can revoke access at any time. Most interestingly, the free viewers can give feedback with comments and markups. Comments and markups are both available for view-only links and users with a Kudo license. Text comments can be linked to a selection of entities and users can zoom to the selection. Alternatively, you can use markups to comment with pictures, voice recordings, or stamps. If you mention another user, an email notification is sent with the corresponding text and markups. This facilitates a prompt reaction. From the email, the user can open the drawing and see in Aries Kudo all the discussions, including the ones created from the view only link by the free users. To follow your projects, you can also use the email notifications to receive a daily recap. Such a recap shows who modified the drawing and all the comments and markups. Last but not least, you can use the new QR codes to modernize your printed drawings and PDFs. For example, you could scan the QR code on a printing drawing to check if a more recent version of this drawing is available. On a mobile device, you can either use Aries Kudo or our mobile version Aries Touch. QR codes are great for mobile devices, but of course, you can also insert instead a text link, which might be better to use from a computer. So that's it for the demos, Anthony. And Anthony has some great points to share, so I will let him take it from there.
Thanks, Cedric. Yes, I'd like to share my conclusions after my product review on Architosh. What I find so compelling about Aries Kudo is it proves you can have robust professional CAD in the browser, where you never have to install any software. From this perspective, Aries Kudo is both in a league of its own and essentially a new LT competitor with robust features like support for MicroStation files and PDF underlays. But its biggest advantage, other than its lower price, is the superior collaboration features thanks to Aries Cloud and Trinity features. Of course, we would need more time to dive deeper into all these features. If you are interested to learn more, I invite you to read the very detailed article I wrote on Architosh.com. Cedric, any final notes?
Sure, Anthony. So you mentioned Aries Kudo's advantage in terms of cost. Aries Kudo is sold standalone at $120 per year. But for users that are frequently out of the office, I would warmly recommend to consider the Mobility Pack, that is combining Aries Kudo with Aries Touch, and that is still half the price of LT. And as explained earlier, the Trinity license is adding our desktop version of Aries Commander and is still cheaper than LT. If you are interested, just head over to kudo.gerber.com to get started with our free 30-day trial.
Thanks, Cedric. This is closing our presentation. Thank you all for joining the keynote, and I hope you enjoy the next one. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
Goodbye, and see you in the next keynote.